Hey you guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I thought I would try to do a quick plant haul video for you guys, and also maybe I'll have a little bit of time to plant a few things that I got from my plant haul because my stash is building up quite quickly. So real quick recap or quick story. I went to Lowe's on Saturday. My daughter had a friend's birthday party, so I dropped her off and I was like, let me piddle around in a couple of local nurseries. One nursery was a bust. I didn't really find a whole lot of anything, but then I went to Lowe's and I found quite a few beautiful things. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation where there's something that you really wanted, but you really didn't get it and you should have got it. Well, that was me. I think it was Sunday morning. I came outside, planted a few things, and then I got caught by the rain. And so I was like, well, I can't plant anything. I may as well go and look at some plants. So I went back to Lowe's, picked up a couple of more things. Then later that evening, my husband called me and he was like, why don't you come down to Lowe's? And I said, well, I've already spent enough money today at Lowe's and yesterday. And he was like, well, this is on me. So I got my shoes on so fast. I had an hour to shop, but I came out with a goat load of things. And these, they're distressed, but they're beauties. Trust me, I will nurse them back to health. No doubt about it. These came from Lowe's, you guys. And the price that I got these for, chef's kiss. I cannot believe it. I'm so excited. So I want to spin you around and I want to show you some of the things that we got from Lowe's. Well, actually, I may not spin you around. I may keep you like this. It's kind of easier. So first things first is this. These are my Limelights on standard. So I saw these at Pike's Nursery. Let me kind of zoom out a little bit so you can see them better. I saw these at Pike's Nursery last year, and I absolutely, obviously, I'm a hydrangea lover and I'm a limelight lover, and I fell in love with these instantaneously. The deal is, I did not fall in love with the price that they were. They were $200 at Pike's a piece. And I just wasn't ready to do that. So that was last year. Fast forward to yesterday, and I was at Lowe's my first trip to the one that's a little further away. It's about 30-minute drive away from me. And I saw one and I'm like, is that what I think it is? And so I went over and I looked at the price. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're $80 in here, which wasn't that bad. And to be quite honest, these look in pretty poor condition compared to the ones that were at Pike's Nursery for $200. They were really lush and full. And I'm like, I can probably do $80. But I already had quite an assortment of plants in my buggy already that I really truly wanted. And I was like, I have Limelight hydrangeas. I can wait. Granted, I don't have standards, but I can still wait. So a few hours later, I went home. My husband called me. And then I ended up at the Lowe's in our neighboring city, which is probably about, I don't know, a 10-minute drive away. And that's when I saw they did the little 30-minute roll call. And I was like, well, I still got 30 minutes. So I went around to where the trees were. And you guys, they had two of them. And I was like, these look a little rough, though. So I asked my husband, I was like, can I get these? And he was like, you already know what the answer is. So I went back, got another buggy because I already had a buggy full of plants, distressed plants nonetheless. And I got these babies and I got them at the distressed price. You guys, they were only $40 a piece. $40! So I'm not going to keep them in their nursery containers, even though I don't have the flower bed ready for them yet. I'm going to go ahead and plant them out. They're going to look like they're sitting in the middle of nowhere out there in the yard, but I'd rather have them in the ground. And then when I'm ready to plant the flower, create the flower bed around them, I can absolutely do that. But I want to get them in the ground, get them fertilized, and get them taken care of because I will try to find pictures of my distressed limelights that I got from Lowe's last year. And now they are the beautiful hedge that I have showed you guys in numerous other videos. So it doesn't really take long. And these are honestly, they're like buds all over the stems where like new growth is going to emerge. So I'm not overly concerned with the fact that They look a little bit on the struggle bus right now. I feel like once I get in there, some of them have it's misshapen. It's lost some limbs. I mean, they've had a pretty rough life so far, but that's okay. They're going to be a thing of beauty later, I promise you that. But I have two of them, and let me show you where I'm actually going to be placing these two. All right here is the gate, and so what I'm thinking is I want a pretty deep flower bed, probably 6 feet or more, maybe even 7 to 8 feet deep, because they really don't play in this whole area back here. So I'm not going to take away all of their grass space. But what I want to do is I want to have a walkway leading to the gate, and I want to flank each side of the walkway with the limelights, and that'll be where the start of the bed is. So like I said, they're going to look perched out here for a while, but I'm okay with that. I'd rather them look perched and be in the ground and grow on, and then come fall, or maybe even come it might even be next spring before I get this bed situated, because it's going to be a pretty decent sized bed. In reference, here's the one large shade bed here. So it's going to kind of go around here and come all the way around where Skylar is. And then it's just going to go all the way around the whole perimeter of the yard. And I want it to be relatively deep because I do plan on planting a few small evergreen trees back here. Just to kind of shield us and give us a little bit of privacy from the golf course, and also to kind of be a wall or barrier, if you will, for stray golf balls that do occasionally come in this direction. So yeah, I think that'll be a pretty spot for them to be. All right, let's go back up and take a look at the rest of the plants, because I have quite a few. Hey you guys, my next distressed perennial is this beautiful plant right here. This is a Veronica. So this is a Magic Show White Wands Veronica by Proven Winners, and it's a beauty of a plant. They had quite a few of these on their cart. They also had a it wasn't a Veronica, it was definitely a salvia, but you know how a lot of big box stores, they don't really put the tags on their plants, so you really don't know what you're getting. And I didn't know which one that was, and I do know it was Proven Winners, but I really wasn't positive of the variety that it was. But I do know that every year I see these, every year I want them, and every year I do not get them. So my husband's treat, I did get, I think, 4 or 5 of these. I really can't remember, but look how beautiful that is. They did distress these for me as well, because they were showing a little bit of distress. I did water them, and they perked right back up. But this is, like I said, it's by Proven Winners. It gets to be about 14 to 16 inches tall and about 16 to 20 inch spread, and they are hardy zones 4 through 8, so pretty winter hardy, and they do bloom in early summer to midsummer, and they do like pretty full sun conditions, full to part sun. Here I'll probably go ahead and put them in a full sun location. I think they'll do perfectly fine. If I notice that they look a little stressed, then I'll move them somewhere else like I do anything else. But just, isn't it beautiful? Just gorgeous. And for you tag lovers, there you go. And I got these for a little bit more than 50% off, if I'm not mistaken. Or it may have been 50% off. I'll have to look at my receipt again. Moving on to the next one. Check out the bloom on this. Is that not beautiful? So this is by Monrovia, and this is a red hot poker. And I love these so much. I really was looking for a yellow one, or one that wasn't as bright orange or red. And this one I had seen online, and I really loved it, but I couldn't find that at my local, well, at the one local Lowe's that I frequent quite a bit. So I went to the other one, and I'm glad I did, because they were all sold out at the other one when I went. So this is Mango Popsicle by Monrovia, and it does like full sun. So it's got that nice grassy texture to it. They do say they are deer resistant. Now, deer resistant doesn't mean deer proof. I don't think there's anything that's deer proof. If a deer is hungry, it's going to eat whatever it wants to eat, and you pretty much can't stop it. So it does say that it's deer resistant. It also says that this one is a dwarf plant. Oh, it is a dwarf plant compared to some of the other sizes I've seen. So it gets to be about 12 to 14 inches tall and 12 to 18 inch spread. And hardiness down to a -10. So that's really winter hardy. But isn't it cute? And I'm pretty sure that 12 to 18 inches, 12 inches is probably just the grassy texture itself. The 18 inches is probably including the bloom stalks, because the bloom stalks are, you can see, they're fairly long. But it's just the neatest thing. And each one of these are like little tubes, so it's tubular. I have a feeling that the hummingbirds will enjoy this one quite a bit because they tend to like more tubular shaped blooms. But I thought this one was really beautiful. And my husband, he doesn't speak much on plants, but he saw this. He was watching something with me on YouTube. I can't really quite remember what it was. And he saw this plant in particular. And he's like, I don't really say a whole lot about plants, but I really like that one. So it was my mission to go and find one because I want him to like the garden space too. So that's that one, Red Hot Poker. And I only got 2 of these. I wish I would have got 3 now that I'm looking at the size, but 2 will do me perfectly fine. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, you guys, my next plant, and I'm going to go in and deadhead it because this bloom is definitely past its prime. But look at this variegation on this. This is a Woo La La Hosta by Proven Winners, and I have a couple of these hostas in my space. The thing with mine, though, and the reason I snatched these up is because I don't notice the striking variegation on mine like these have. Now, when I got home yesterday, I did go check, and I do see like a little bit of variegation around the edges of the leaves, but nothing quite like this. So I did go ahead and pick these up because they were on the clearance rack, you guys. I think they were like $4. And Woo La La is a sport of the Empress Wu. Now, I have several Empress Wu hostas in my garden space, and I can insert a picture for you of what they're looking like currently and right now. But like I said, this is a sport of that, so it'll get to be just as big and just as large. The Empress Wu just doesn't have the variegated foliage like the Woo La La. So stats on the Woo La La, it is 36 to 48 inches tall and a 60-inch to 72-inch spread, y'all. That's a big old plant. So it's hardy zones 3 through 9, so incredibly winter hardy, and it blooms in midsummer. It likes part shade to shade conditions. Mine get pretty much full shade conditions, and they thrive. Now, the thing with these larger hostas, and with most hostas in general, if you want them to reach that max size, they do need ample water, and I do tend to water my hostas every day. We've been getting so much rain lately that I've not had to do so, but once the summer months really pick up, I will water these every day. And the ones I have planted out front, we've only been here, it'll be 3 years in October, so they've only been in the ground for 2 years, and so they're already a pretty decent size, and they came from little pots like this. So this is just a gallon size container that I picked up at Lowe's. There was a viewer, Miss Kathy, and she made a comment in my last video that she was looking for seducer hostas, and she went to Lowe's and she didn't see any. And when I went to Lowe's, there were so many at my Lowe's, and I wish I could have grabbed them and just sent them to Miss Kathy because she is so sweet. But all I can say is just kind of check around. I know she was asking where I got mine from. I got mine, we have a small local nursery that's attached to our Ace hardware store. And so for the past couple of years, that's where I get a lot of my perennials from and a lot of my good proven winter annuals from. This last year or so, I'm gonna have to say though, they kind of declined on their plant selection, so I've kind of been forced to either go to Pike's Nursery, which they did have some at our Pike's Nursery. It's just Pike's is not very convenient to me. It's about an hour or so drive away, but it's worth it. I usually stock up when I go, and then Lowe's and Home Depot. So that's it. The only thing I could say is maybe do a Google search around you, and if you're willing to drive a little bit, maybe they'll have some there. But Lowe's is typically where I get the vast majority of my proven winners hostas, and Pikes and Home Depot. So, and they've had a lot of good selections this year. All right, so this is Woo La La. I also picked up the Empress Wu. I'll show you that one real quick, but I won't do won't go into too much detail about it, but I did get a couple of Empress Wus as well. All right, so you can see this is the Empress Wu. It is a wee bit distressed, but it is slashed. So I did get this at a discount as well. And I didn't show you the Woo La La tag, but here's the Empress Wu. And this one is going to be a beast of a plant as well. Let's see. So 3 to 4 feet tall when flowering and 60 to 72 inch spread. So same as the Woo La La. Like I said, it's a sport of this one. And it's also hardy zones 3 through 9. And a lot of people don't like the bloom stalks on hostas, but I absolutely love them. I recently took a picture of my Empress Wus because they're in bloom right now, which I feel is a little bit early. But our weather has been really
strange.
all my daughter's off to the side. She says strange, and yes, it has been a little bit strange. But here's this one. I'm not really concerned about the tattered leaves. I'm going to plant it as is, leave it as is. I'm not going to cut it off because if I did that, I'd probably cut half the plant off. I'm just going to leave it alone and let it be and put it in its new home, and it will grow and bloom and thrive in that spot. So there it is. I got 2 of these and 2 Woo La Las. I'm not sure if I said that earlier, but I got 2 Woo La Las and 2 or 3 Empress Wu hostas. All right, you guys, next plant is looking a little rough. I may go ahead and prune this one off because it's not doing any good just dangling like that. But this is it's got the cutest name. It's called Tortilla Chip. And this is just a Lowe's hosta. And obviously it does like shade. And it is hardy down to negative 30 degrees. It gets to be about 16 to 18 inches tall and 30 to 36 inches across. So it's a decent sized little plant. It looks little now, but it'll grow to be really pretty. I like, and if you see some of the fresher ones that they have in Lowe's, they all have that really fun, bright pop. And I like that pop in shady places because sometimes things can kind of get lost in the sauce in the shade. So I really enjoy having a lot of variegation or just really vibrant green shades and hues. They really pop in dark places. So that is the tortilla chip. All right, you guys, next is a Monrovia coneflower, and I absolutely love coneflowers. I think in my last garden I had a couple of varieties, a few different ones. My favorite was the Price is White Echinacea. It was by Proven Winners, but this one, you guys, it kind of reminds me. So I bought from Great Garden Plants last fall a coneflower, and it was called Summer Song Firefinch is the name of that one. And I really want it to do well, but I feel like it's taking forever to like jumpstart or whatever. But this kind of reminds me of that. And up close, so I thought I had picked up the wrong one because when it first comes out, it's like super orangey, but then it turns into this real corally, almost like a ombre effect. You can see it. It's so pretty, but this is called Double Scoop Cranberry. And look how healthy that plant looks, you guys. And look at all of the buds on that. I can't wait. I'm gonna plant it over there with the Summer Song Firefinch that survived. Some of them got dug up because of they had to dig with the electrical. So I'm going to plant this one over there and pray that it does well. Now this does like full sun, which most coneflowers do, and they do very well in our full sun conditions here. I am in Georgia, zone 8A. So it says 6+ hours of direct sunlight. It's watering is low once established. Mature size is 28 to 30 inches tall and a 24 to 28 inch spread. And it blooms summer through fall. So hardy's down to a negative 20. So it's so beautiful. I can't wait. I think I want to plant this today along with one of my other plant stash selections that I got over there. But isn't that so pretty? Ooh, it's so beautiful. It's gorgeous.
You're pretty, Mom.
Thank you, Skylar. All right. My little girl, I don't know if you can hear her. She's like, no, but you're pretty, Mommy. You're beautiful. All right, but this is Double Scoop Cranberry by Monrovia. There's the tag. All right. And I'm trying to think if I paid full price for this. I do believe that I think I did pay full price for this plant. I can't quite remember. Next, we have the Millennium Garlic by Monrovia. I've told you guys in a previous video, this is one of my favorite perennials. It is such a diverse little plant. I love it when it's in bloom. I love it when it's not in bloom. I absolutely love the foliage of it. Now this foliage is a little bit darker. It's more of a deeper green than the serendipity alliums that we have. This is kind of what they look like when they're in bloom. I have some serendipity there that are in bloom. They're a little bit more fuller than this actually, but it is part of the onion family, so it does not directly smell like onion. If you walk up and sniff it, it doesn't smell like an onion at all. But if you kind of rustle it around a little bit, you get that oniony smell, which makes it rabbit and deer resistant. I say resistant, I don't say proof, because that's what the tag says, and it is very true. They'll probably still eat it. Sorry for the background noise. These are pretty easy to take care of. I've not had issues with my alliums ever. They're kind of a no fuss plant for me. They do like full sun conditions. This gets to be about 15 to 20 inches tall and 10 to 15 inch spread, and they're hardy down to negative 10. But like I said, it is an ornamental garlic, and it has these really beautiful rosy purple flower clusters. And it's just, like I said, this deep dark green. And the other one, the serendipity, is more of like a frosty green, like a blue green to me. But there is that plant. Now, I did get these marked down. They were on the clearance rack, and they had a ton of these. I don't know why they had so many. I had like two. You know how when you go in there and you see the racks that they have of plants? I had like 2 racks of these, y'all. So at 50% off, I'm like, I should just grab a whole bunch of them and put them up for somewhere else, because I know I'm going to want them somewhere else. But just beautiful. And they don't look that rough, not in my humble opinion. I'll just come in here and clean up all of that dead foliage off of them, and they'll be pretty good as new. Look how that looks together too. I love alliums and hydrangeas together. They're just so pretty. All right, next plant. All right, you guys, this is the next perennial. This is another favorite of mine. I don't think there's anything in my garden that's really not going to be a favorite to me unless it's something new that I'm trying. But this is a Gara, and I have some Beliza white Gara that's around the front over there in my purple and white corner of the flower bed. But this is dark pink. Now, I do have a dark rose that looks very similar to this that I got at Home Depot. So I'm going to plant them in a cluster all together. So I think altogether total, I probably have like 5 of these. And I think they'll be a beautiful, just a beautiful block and beautiful chunk of color in that spot. Now, these do like pretty full sun conditions. Mine love the full sun up front. They are hardy down to 0 to negative 10 degrees. So they're not hardy zones 1 through 5. And they get to be about 12 to 18 inches tall and 16 to 20 inch spread. Now, it gives you spacing instructions like 15 to 16, and that's if you kind of want them to clump and touch. I don't really go by spacing instructions because I kind of know how I want my plants to look, and I can kind of gauge where to plant them. And if something just grows too close to something, I just kind of dig it out and move it. I know if I pay attention to the spacing instructions, it'll save me time on having to do that. But I kind of want things to kind of grow together and touch. I think it's beautiful when they do that and they kind of intermingle with the things going on next to them. It just gives a nice, mature, full look. But these were distressed and discounted. The other one looks a little bit rougher than this. It's got a little bit more yellow foliage and a little bit limp, but I think it will bounce back beautifully. Is where these are. Now, where I'm going to plant these is on the hillside next to my coneflowers and next to my penstemon. So that area gets quite a bit of morning sun, but then it gets a lot of reprieve in the afternoon. So probably about 12:30, the sun kind of retreats and moves to the other side of the house that I'm on right now. I'm just standing in the protection underneath my porch out here. So where my plant stash is. But that's what these are, and I love how they grow up on these really wispy stems and have that really pretty pink. So pretty. And even when they're not in bloom, they're beautiful because their stems are that really dark, rich color. looks like a purpley pink color. They're just beautiful. That's a beautiful plant.
They're gorgeous.
All right, let's get to the next one. Next one is a little heavy. So it is a hydrangea. This is by Endless Summer, and this is Popstar. Popstar, yeah, right? Yeah. It is Popstar. Look at that foliage. Would you look at it? Now there's a dried up crusty bloom. I'll probably just come in and chop that one off. But isn't it beautiful? It's so healthy looking. So this, I think I paid full price for this. I'm pretty positive. So this plant is pH determinate. I do know that for a fact. So it just depends on your soil's pH level and acidity on what color your blooms are going to be. We, in particular, down here where I live, have pretty acidic soil. So most of our hydrangeas that are pH determinate are going to bloom blue. Now, if you have more alkaline soil, your blooms are going to be pink. Sometimes, I know in my last landscape, sometimes it was a bicolor and it was like a ombre. It literally went from like a really pretty rosy pink to a blue. It was gorgeous. But here where I'm at currently, everything tends to bloom blue for me, which I happen to love. It's one of my favorite colors. So I do enjoy this one a lot. Now the stats on this, give me a minute. Let's see if I can hold this and do this at the same time. 18 to 36 inches tall and an 18 to 36 inch spread, so roughly about a 3x3, and its hardy zones 4 through 9. It does like morning sun and afternoon shade exposure, so where I'm going to plant this is, I'm probably going to end up calling it Hydrangea Hill because it's quite the incline over there, and I tend to keep planting a lot of mountain hydrangeas over there because it gets such perfect filtered dappled light over there that the plants just thrive. I have a tiny tough stuff over there now, and I have a lot of hostas that bloom over there, or that grow over there. And then I also have my Fairy Trail Bride hydrangea over there as well. So I think adding this to the collection, where I took out my David Austin rose, I think it'll be beautiful. So this will be part of the collection. I've been looking for this for a long time, and I'm so thankful that they finally had it in Lowe's. Oh, there. So, yep, that's this one. Moving on to the next one. I told y'all I had a lot. Next plant is this beautiful Rose of Sharon. I've never had one of these, so I'm very curious to see how this grows. Let me put the price tag right on top of the picture, but that is it right there. Now these things get pretty monstrous. I know that some varieties don't get as big as others, but in my honest opinion, they all get fairly large to me. So these do like full sun conditions pretty much, and they are hardy zones 5 through 9. They get to be a whopping 8 to 12 inches tall and a 8 to 12 feet tall and a 6 to 10 foot spread. They bloom in the summer months, and they do adapt to most well-drained soil. So they have a medium deer resistance, and that, like I said, I don't even look at that anymore because they're going to eat what they want to eat. But that is it. So you guys, this wasn't on the clearance table that I was aware of. I didn't see any clearance prices around it. But when I got home, so she told me my total, and I had a whole bunch of clearance distressed plants in my cart. And so we were just sitting down eating dinner before my husband had to leave, and I was like, wait a minute. It's like, that price that she quoted me was awfully low because the 2 roses of Sharon, so spoiler alert, I did get another one. I'll show you that one in a minute. I said those alone should have been the total of my entire order should have been what the 2 roses of Sharon were priced together. So I went and found my receipt. I had put it in the back of the car with the plants, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Y'all, she distressed these as well for me. So I got these for a whopping $13. $13 and some change. But they're beautiful. I got this one because it's nice and budded up. None of the blooms were open yet, but you can see. Look at that sweet thing. Where I'm going to put these yet, I have yet to determine because they get so large. I had thought of coming down the side of the house up here where I created the no-dig flower bed behind the boxwoods because, or the inkberry hollies, I feel like it would give us a little bit of privacy when we're sitting on the front porch. Then I thought of saving it for the mixed border hedge over here. And truth be told, y'all, I don't know where I want the thing to go. So, and it may be that I plant it out back by the fence near the, where I'm gonna put the 2 Limelights. Excuse me. So, it may be that I do that. I have options. So we'll see what I come up with, but it's a beautiful plant. I'm excited about it. So let me show you the other one since I already told you that I got 2. All right, so here is my other one. This is the Blue Chiffon Rose of Sharon. Look at that bloom, y'all, real quick. Is that just not pretty? Oh, it's so, ooh. You all right? Okay, yeah, be careful. It's wet out here now. All right. It's okay if you got a little dirty. It can be washed. All right, sorry, you guys. All right, so this is the Blue Chiffon Rose of Sharon. I'm poking myself in the eye. This thing's kind of awkward to hold. Once again, tag's right in the middle. Our price tag is. There you go. So this one, let's check out its growing stats. Full sun, obviously. I say obviously, full sun. A lot of people don't know that. Hardiness zones 5 through 9. This one is the same as the other, so it's 8 to 12 feet tall and 6 to 10 feet spread, and blooms in summer as well. So that is the other one, and it is totally budded up. This actually was the prettiest one. I tend to get the ones that are budded up and not completely in bloom because I want to enjoy the blooms for myself. But this one had a couple of blooms, and it honestly was the prettiest one that they had. And I also got this one distressed, so this was also $13. You guys, check this gorgeous thing out. Look at that. Look at the variegation on that. Do you see how massive this thing is? And it came out of the box, shipped this large and intact. Now the box was not intact, so I was kind of fearful that the plant wouldn't be. I want to sit it down though because it's quite heavy. But this is a hydrangea, and you know I told you I'm a sucker for variegated foliage. This one definitely has variegated foliage. It is called Light of Day. It is a first edition plant, and I got it off of Amazon. You know, they say they sell everything from A to Z. Well, they definitely sell plants, and they sell actually beautiful ones. I've not had a bad experience from any of the growers that I purchased from on Amazon. They do a tremendous job with packing. This plant, even though the box was severely damaged, the plant was still perfectly intact, and it's sprouting out a ton of new growth. I'm sorry, I'm sitting over here looking at it. It's got a ton of new growth on it. It is beautiful. I'll have to pop the stats up on the screen because I'm honestly not certain. I do know that it likes parched sun conditions. So I think where I want to plant this, it'll be happy. In my no-dig flower bed, I was telling you guys that I wanted to plant it kind of behind the beautyberry bush, tucked underneath the porch area. And I think if I can get a hole big enough for that, it'll be perfect. I'm pretty positive that's a 3-gallon size container, and I think I spent roughly $30-some odd on that plant and free shipping. I'm just saying, last time I looked, they only had, I think they had 8 left, and I'm gonna go back and look again to see if they have another one, because if they do, I definitely want one more. If they're sold out, I'll just have to wait until they get them back in stock. I am willing to wait. Those are beautiful, and I had it in my cart. Actually, I had it on my save list for quite some time, and for whatever reason, I guess I didn't read the description. I just saw the variegated foliage and hit heart. You know how when you're scrolling, you just see stuff and you heart it and you like it. I just thought it was a normal shrub. Well, fast forward to probably like a week or so, 2 ago, I was looking at another YouTuber's channel, and she had some variegated hydrangeas, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why does that look like that shrub that I have in my favorites list? And so I pulled it up, and sure enough, it was a hydrangea, y'all. So it is a variegated hydrangea. Like I said, I will put all the stats up. The only thing that I can tell you right now is that it likes part shade or part sun conditions. I think it gets roughly like a 4x4 in size, maybe 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. And I think the blooms on it are, I think it's pH determinant as well. So for me, they'll be a really pretty blue. They are lace cap blooms. I can kind of, Yeah, I think they are lace cap blooms. I'm kind of trying to look at the buds and tell. Um, and it's by First Editions is the plant, and the name of it is Light of Day. I had to come on here and share this one with you guys, even though I did not get it at Lowe's, but it is definitely a plant worth sharing. So there you go, guys, and that is going to wrap up the plant haul. I will see how long this video is, and if it's terribly long, we'll just plant in another video. But I really did want to get on here and show you guys all the things that I found at my local Lowe's, and right now they are distressing lots of things, so I would highly advise you go in and check them out, because they're getting a whole lot of new things in, so they're distressing a whole lot of older things. And some things don't look that bad. They just need a little bit of water and a little TLC. So I would encourage you to get out there, go to some of your local big box stores, check out what they have. And even if you see something that's not on the distressed table, because some of these were not, just go up and ask somebody. It can't hurt. You never know what you may get. You may get a $80 standard Limelight for $40. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. You are all a blessing to me, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.